Thousands of years ago, London was dark, barbaric, and shrouded in legend. But the city's oldest, most mysterious ruin is not a Roman fort, not a Norman tower. It is a structure that combines legend and history, and its true purpose challenges modern archaeology. We are going back to a time when Christianity and ancient Celtic mythology lived side by side. At the heart of this story is a place that is connected to the legend of King Arthur in a way that is not written in the history books. It is a profound mystery for UK visitors that will take them deeper into their own ancient identity. We often start with London in the Roman Londinium or Norman era, 1066 AD. But around 1000 AD, London was in the hands of the Anglo-Saxons, slowly developing as a trading center. The story centers on the original foundations of St. Bride's Church, located near modern Fleet Street. The site is a treasure trove of mysteries for archaeologists. Strange stone. Beneath the church, archaeologists have found the foundations of an ancient structure. These foundations do not match Roman or later Norman construction. A particularly carved stone found here suggests that the site was a Celtic or Anglo-Saxon site of pre-Christian mythology. Location of the epicenter. According to legend, St. Bride's was the burial place of the head of Brân the Blessed, a mythical British king whose head was believed to be buried here because, in Celtic belief, the head of a king protected the nation. The word Brân also refers to the raven in ancient Celtic. This brings us to one of London's most famous legends, the ravens of the Tower of London. The popular belief is that if ravens fly out of the tower, the monarchy will fall. Although the legend is believed to date back to the time of Charles II, UK archaeologists and historians argue that its true basis lies in the Celtic mythology of St. Bride's Church. The Celtic belief of Brân the Blessed may have been transformed into the legend of the ravens of the Tower of London. That is, the modern royal symbol of the Tower of London is actually just an adaptation of an ancient Celtic defensive ritual. This Celtic and Anglo-Saxon London was a mystical, spiritual link between the lost ruins of Londinium of the Romans and the future Tower of the Normans. The Arthurian link. The basis for the connection between King Arthur and London is the 12th century legend of Geoffrey of Monmouth, in which Arthur is depicted as a king of London. But the main attraction of our story is different. The legend of the Stone of Scone, or Celtic Rock. Near St. Bride's Church was an ancient Celtic holy well known as St. Bride's Well. In ancient Celtic legends, some Celtic tribes believed that their sacred royal stone, which later became the Stone of Scone in Scotland, was actually from the Arthurian era. It was a source of royal authority and spiritual power. We will examine the archaeological evidence of these ancient structures and wells that shows that 10th and 11th century Londoners viewed these sites not as mere sources of water, but as centers of spiritual power. Why did they fight at these sites? Why did the Norman conquerors of 1070 want to quickly establish control over London? Was it simply for trade? Historical evidence suggests that the Normans sought to seize not only political power, but also symbols of ancient Celtic spiritual authority. They knew that control of a site that held spiritual significance to the Anglo-Saxons would ensure lasting rule. Despite the military control of William the Conqueror, the Anglo-Saxon people remained faithful to their own Celtic legends and ancient spiritual sites. The main mystery of this story is, did the power of the Tower of London really come from the bricks and mortar of the Normans, or did it come from the ancient, invisible Celtic authority of St. Bride's Well and Brân the Blessed that William had to steal? Conclusion: the layers of legend. Every modern structure in London is built on a 1,000-year-old spiritual struggle. In this episode of Millennia Tales, we prove the ravens of the Tower of London are not a modern superstition, but rather a direct descendant of ancient Celtic legend. Before London evolved from a Roman trading center to a Norman fortress, It was a labyrinth of Celtic spiritual centers connected to King Arthur and the mythical kings. Modern London's sustainability probably depends not only on its financial strength, but also on the ancient, unspoken promise that still lies buried beneath the stones of St. Bride's Church. When you walk through your own city, do you only see modern architecture, or do you feel that ancient spiritual energy that William the Conqueror wanted to steal?